From the Frontier Communication Studio, this is Tonight Live. Tonight Live begins now.
Mixed bag winter weather makes a comeback in the Mountain State. Good evening. I'm Dan Thorne. From the roads to the temperatures, the region's only statewide team is out in full force tonight, covering every aspect of the storm. As that weather moves through, for some parts the snow is starting to turn into freezing rain, posing a danger of its own. Sydney Shalafo starts off our coverage tonight in Lewisburg with more on what's happening now in Greenbrier County. Sydney.
Hey Dan, well the snow has pretty much stopped here on the eastern end of Greenbrier County, but what we're seeing now is a little rain actually. It's slowing down, but we are still seeing some. Not enough to create any real problems with visibility, but it's still cold out, and that is just wreaking havoc on the roads and the sidewalks. They're like skating rinks out here. I know when I was out earlier, the plows were working their hardest to get these roads clear, but with the rain and cold temperatures, I'm sure these roads are going to get really slick here. They've already been some accidents out here today, so drive slow, drive safe out there. Reporting for Tonight Live, I'm Sydney Shalafo in Greenbrier County.
All right, Sydney, thank you. Be safe out there. Well, with school closings, a teacher in Kanawha County started a program to help parents in a tough spot. She and other volunteers offer free child care at her church. They created the program for those who don't have flexibility to stay home. Some other ideas to help families out: plan ahead and have options ready before the snow starts to fall, and team up with other parents to tag team watching the children. Rain coming down across our region, making for a slushy mess on the roads, and it's starting to flood some streams and rivers. We now send it out to Alyssa Meisner, live along the Coal River in Kanawha County. Alyssa.
Yeah, well, Dan, like you said, we're along the Coal River out here just outside of St. Albans on Strawberry Field Road. And, you know, the road's mostly cleared in our area thanks to some of that rain today. But in areas like here, like a parking lot or some of those side streets, just a mushy, slushy mix as that rain continues to come down and melt the snow across our region. But definitely those roads wet and slick tonight. And as temperatures continue to drop and that rain continues to come down, we are anticipating the potential for black ice and definitely some slick spots. And as we were saying, we're right along the Coal River. You can see behind me the water really moving pretty quickly, and it's starting to rise a bit. No major issues with flooding or anything to be concerned about right now, but we are going to continue to keep an eye on that tonight. Definitely in general, though, roads the major concern right now. Again, those are very slick. Take it really slow out there and really stay off the roads if you can tonight. Again, drive safely out there. For now, reporting for Tonight Live, I'm Alyssa Meisner in Kanawha County.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. With all the snow and ice expected, power outages are not out of the question. Officials say it's important to prepare your house in case your area does lose power. Having things like candles and batteries and a propane heater can help keep your family in the light while power companies work to fix the problems. North Central West Virginia is seeing a little bit of everything. Meteorologist Brian Sherman continues our statewide weather coverage from Harrison County tonight. Brian.
Well, good evening, Dan. Good evening, everyone. Here in north central West Virginia, rain's been the rule for most of us in the lowlands, with a wintry mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain into the higher elevations. Winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings continue for our mountain counties, while a flood watch is now in effect for most of north central West Virginia, as we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain possible overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Earlier this morning, most of us saw snow from last night into early this morning, so we did have a lot of school delays and cancellations. But as temperatures have warmed up, the roads have actually become a lot better, just primarily wet, especially those secondary roads. Speaking with a Barber County school administrator this afternoon, they said they canceled classes today, not so much for the main roads in Barber County, but the secondary roads were still very icy and snow covered, even as temperatures began to rise throughout the afternoon. Our primary concern again for tonight is we're going to be watching for those small streams and creeks that are going to have some potential water management issues, and still that wintry mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain working into the higher elevations. Pocahontas County, a county in our viewing area, remains under a winter storm warning until tomorrow afternoon. So right now, no major problems, but we will be keeping an eye on those creeks and streams, the West Fork River here in Harrison County, and working up especially into Monongalia County as well, with the heavy rain set to move into the region tonight. Of course, we've got you covered here across the state of West Virginia as the winter storm continues to move through. Reporting from Clarksburg, Harrison County, I'm meteorologist Brian Sherman for Tonight Live, working for you in Harrison County.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Well, in the northern panhandle, they could be seeing everything from snow to rain to sleet. Meteorologist Dr. Dave Walker joins us live tonight from Wheeling. Dave.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dr. Dave Walker here in the northern panhandle of West Virginia. The winter weather advisory that was in effect for the Wheeling area and southward has been canceled, but we still have a winter weather advisory out to the north and west of Wheeling, where we're probably going to go from rain back over to snow before 7 a.m. Fortunately, right now, where I stand, we are above freezing. In fact, our entire viewing area is above freezing, and with the wind still out of the east, we don't expect the change back over to snow until probably about 3 or 4 a.m. out to the west, and then eventually approaching the Ohio River. From the northern panhandle of West Virginia, I'm meteorologist Dr. Dave Walker.
All right, thanks a lot, Doc. Well, now we head over to Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins with a live look at the radar. Spencer, we've seen what it looks like around the state, but what else is coming our way?
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to look at that radar for a bit. We have a ton of different things going on. First of all, let's start in the eastern panhandle. We have some heavy, wet snow falling here. We've seen the 511 cameras. I-81 is still moving, but it's moving slowly, and the back roads are snow covered in the eastern panhandle. Now, down the mountains, we have a mix of wet snow and rain. That's falling as the temperatures are down around 32 degrees. So real slick there. There's heavy rain from eastern Kentucky right on up into the Charleston and Huntington area. Luckily, the temperature's around 36, and that rain falling even up to Clarksburg, where that mark is 39. Wheeling, as Dr. Dave just said, has a light wintry mix of some flakes, but that's okay above the freezing mark. That's all melting. The west side of the storm in Ohio is set to change to snow. Basically west of the Ohio River, that's in about 2 to 4 hours, we'll start to see that. There could be several inches of snow in parts of southern and southeast Ohio, all the way up to the Ohio Valley, the upper Ohio Valley, that is. And that's a lot of weather going on. So we'll come back and sort it out. We'll show you predictor in just a few minutes, and it'll all make much more sense.
All right, Spencer, we're looking forward to it. Thank you. Well, right now we're taking a live look down over the eastern panhandle. Here's a live look at Interstate 81 near Martinsburg. As you can see, the snow still covering some of those roads, making for a bit of a white knuckle tricky commute out there. As you can see, traffic is still moving, but the snow is still covering those roads. In Huntington, they're working on getting their roads clear. As you can see, people spent the day plowing and shoveling all the snow that's now turning into slush, and then it's going to turn into water. Most main streets are clear. Many side streets still kind of messy right now, and flooding becoming the big concern. The Huntington Sanitary Board is in charge of storm drains. They say they'll have all staff on call and ready to go. In some parts of the state, the thermometer is on its way back up, but in the northern panhandle and across the river in Belmont County, Ohio, there's still some dangerous driving conditions. Let's check in with DK Wright for a closer look.
The Ohio State Highway Patrol in Belmont County covered 4 crashes this morning alone, 3 of which were weather related. They say a thin film of ice, hardly visible, made the morning commute treacherous. And even though it was a holiday, many people had to go to work and ended up sliding off the roads. Sergeant Brian McFarland said bridges and overpasses were particularly slick. He said even when daytime temperatures reach the 30s and 40s, nighttime temperatures can freeze any moisture out there. He advises keeping plenty of distance between your vehicle and the one in front of you, and being aware that spring isn't here yet. DK Wright, working for you.
All right, DK, thank you. Well, a weekend fire claims the lives of 2 people in Fayette County, and we're now learning the victims' identities and the cause of the fire. Tim Carrico has more from southern West Virginia.
Family members tell us Reed Alston and Christine Goodson died early Saturday morning in a house fire on Gatewood Road in Fayetteville. Captain Jim Sizemore with the Fayette County Sheriff's Office says it appears there was no foul play involved in that fire.
Fire investigator, in conjunction with the Office of the State Fire Marshal, has determined that the fire appears to have started in the area of a wood-burning stove in the basement of the residence. There does not appear to be any foul play. This does not look like arson. It appears to be an accidental fire.
The home was still smoldering this morning. Reporting for Tonight Live, I'm Tim Carrico in southern West Virginia.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim. Well, the winter weather makes it difficult for firefighters to battle flames. Captain Dennis Milam with the Fayetteville Volunteer Fire Department says the road was covered when they responded to that deadly fire over the weekend. He says the cold temperatures and wind makes it difficult for his men to do their job.
We actually had one fire truck that pump froze up on. We had to put kerosene heaters on the pump panels on fire trucks to keep the fire trucks pumping water. None of our hoses froze up or anything, but water froze real quick out there.
Milam says that the wind actually makes a fire burn faster. Facebook bans gun sales on the popular social media site. We're taking a look at how this will affect stores and individual sellers. And as we go to break tonight, here's a live look over Huntington. Our Storm Tracker team has the latest in your complete forecast coming up. I think he continued to go super smooth.
No, that means I'm going to screw things up. Now you put the pressure on. This is Mark, and I'm here with Dan, and we're going to talk about the state budget.
Yes, please. Welcome back to Tonight Live. It's crunch time at the state capitol in Charleston, and the state's massive budget deficit still has to be dealt with. The state is short by more than $350 million. Right now, Chief Political Reporter Mark Curtis is joining us live in studio. Mark, why have they waited so long to get started on this?
Well, it depends on who you ask. The Republicans are saying, look, the budget is always the last thing that gets done in the legislature, and Governor Tomlin has criticized them for not getting to it soon enough. And they were quick to point out that Governor Tomlin, before he was governor, was in the state senate. He was the state senate president. So they're saying that maybe the concern is overstated, that they're going to get it done. They have 4 weeks to get it done. And as always, the budget is the last thing. But that's a lot of money to make up, $350 million. And so, you know, the governor is pushing his tax plan today.
All right. So we know that there are cuts that are coming. Are taxes going to go up? Are they going to increase?
I would say likely. Look, those 4% across the board tax cuts or budget cuts that the governor implemented in October are going to continue through this year. But he wants a total of $130 million in new taxes. Most of that would come from increasing the tobacco tax by 45 cents a pack. And the other part of it is increasing the cell phone tax. And so I've talked to enough Republicans who favor increasing the tobacco tax to think that it's going to pass. Now, they want 45 cents. There are some delegates that want to charge as much as $1 more per pack. So, look, right now, West Virginia has the 4th lowest tobacco tax in the nation. So there's room for there to grow it. The other part of this, I don't know where it's going to go, is that cell phone tax. Right. I mean, everybody has a cell phone. Cigarettes aren't popular. Cell phones are.
Yeah. So considering this, okay, is the PEIA going to get its funds?
This would be the insurance fund for state employees. I would bet it will. Right. The Republicans are saying, look, this is funded through this year as it is. The real concern is 2017 and beyond. So, look, it's you're angering state employees. There have been a lot of protests over this. They want to get that off the front pages, so they'll deal with it in some way, shape, or form. How they pay for it remains to be decided. Stay tuned.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you, Dan.
Always. Okay, well, some businesses in Charleston are making their political voices heard. After the House passed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, Sam's Uptown Cafe in Charleston posted on Facebook against it, saying it's discriminatory against some people. Supporters say it will protect the religious freedoms of individuals. The owner of Sam's says the post has been seen nearly 100,000 times on Facebook, and that restaurants from around the state have asked how they could be a part of this movement. A recent change in Facebook policy has gun enthusiasts across the country up in arms. Under their new regulations, the sale of unlicensed firearms will be restricted. Hillary Hall shares what this means for social media users and gun dealers in West Virginia.
When Facebook announced its ban on peer-to-peer gun sales, firearms dealer Will Hancock wasn't surprised.
I've tried to boost certain posts to get my name out there, and every time I've tried to do that, Facebook has turned me down.
Alongside their previous restrictions on advertising gun sales, the social media giant and their photo-sharing sister site Instagram will no longer allow the private sale of guns or ammo. It's a move that local police don't feel will make a difference when it comes to gun-related crimes in the area.
As far as recovering a stolen weapon and tracing that weapon back to something like Facebook, the percentage is very small.
Facebook officials say they won't be searching through gun posts to determine which ones are breaking policy.
Instead, they'll rely on their users to address any peer-to-peer gun sales by reporting them.
However, licensed dealers like Will can still operate and advertise gun sales on their individual Facebook pages.
I always do a background check. That's different than a person-to-person sale between folks that are not in business.
While Facebook and Instagram are cracking down on unlicensed gun sales, other options like ad bulletins and flea markets are still available to those looking to get rid of their guns.
You know, this is an open carry state, and it's not illegal to buy or sell guns from individual to individual.
That was Hillary Hall with that report for us tonight. Well, a messy winter storm making for a tough commute tonight. Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins has the latest look at your storm tracker forecast. Hey, Spencer.
It is a mess up there in spots, mainly wet right now, but there could be new snow in some portions and some flooding in other portions. We'll talk about that in just a moment.